Morning, YouTubers, family, and friends. Another beautiful morning here at the Golden Palace. John's taking his morning swim, and we set up the hoses here. We're going to do a little vacuum this morning. We haven't done it for like 4 days. So hopefully the sun will hold out here so we can make some power and clean the pool up a little bit. But as you can see, this is how a pool should look. It should look beautiful, crystal clear blue. That's how your pool should look. And it's not going to look like that unless you have white tiles. You have to have white tiles. Some people choose to put a white and a blue mixture of tiles, which is fine, but it just makes your pool a little bit darker. Unless the sun is shining completely on the pool, then if you have a blue and white mixed tile, like little squares or something, then it will look okay, but your water will always look darker. If you use any kind of a other color tile, your pool will not only look darker, but you'll never get this blue pool like pools should look like throughout the entire world. That's why you never ever put a green or a brown tile in your pool, because that means that green means algae growth and an unsafe, unhealthy pool. And so does brown. Brown means mineral deposits in your water, which means you're not caring for your pool properly. So just for advice for all you out there building a pool, making a pool, designing a pool, always have your tile, or if you're making a gunite pool, make sure your bottom of your pool underneath the water is white. And that's a shout out to the Armstrong family, if no one knows what I'm talking about, because they put a green and a brown tile in the bottom of their pool, and it will never have a blue tint to it, and it'll just look dirty all the time. So anyway, I installed my new wall-mounted fan from China. It cost me $20. It's a powerful industrial 180 watt, even on the one setting, on number one setting, it's really plenty of breeze over here hitting my inverters. It's about a 1 on this fan is about a 3 or higher on this junky fan. So this is a really nice fan for this application. I'll show you what it sounds like on a 2. Super windy on 3, so really I only need a 1. So I'm really happy with that. So hopefully the sun keeps shining. We're making almost 4,000 kilowatts right now. It's pretty good for so early in the morning. It's like 7:30 a.m. No, it's earlier than that. It's only like about 7. So, and this is, the rainy season. It's the last half of the year. The days are getting shorter, which only gets about approximately 30 minutes shorter here, because we're just slightly above the equator. So it's only like a between 20 and 30 minute shorter day in the winter time here. Yeah, so there's really not much of a change. The temperature stays a constant, pretty much 84 degrees, all night long. Unless there's a cold front that moves in, it'll drop down to in the 70s. Like in this next spring, like February, March, we might get some 70s days, but not too often. And then in the midday, of course, you'll get into the low 90s. If the sun is beating hard. So, like I say, this is your tropical I mean, yeah, we have a road in front of the house here. It's a concrete road that goes through the barangay, but this is your deep jungle. You know, there's just neighbors' homes. There's no industrialized here. It's a barangay that's away from the town, about 3 kilometers or so. And then from the city, it's like 55 kilometers, something like that. So we're pretty much way out in the jungle. It's the bugs are nothing, not almost non-existent, because the ecosystem works so well here. There's lots of birds and toads and bats and things that are always eating the hatches of bugs that come out. And once in a while you get an extra big hatch of all varieties of bugs, but it's really nothing that bothers me compared to when I grew up in Minnesota, the state of Minnesota in the U.S. In the spring through the beginning of the fall, it was terrible. Mosquitoes, black biting flies. It just, you can't even hardly be outside unless you got so much mosquito spray on you or mosquito and bug lotion. It's just miserable, absolutely miserable to even do any kind of chores outside, any projects, anything. You're constantly being bombarded with bad bug situation. And you know, that's northern Minnesota. It's in the woods, right? I mean, there's no major towns or cities around. My dad lived in a rural area. We grew a garden every year near the headwaters of the Mississippi River. And there's, you know, it's just forests and marshes and ponds and rivers and stuff like that. And that, the bug situation there compared to the deep jungle in the northwestern part of Mindanao where I live, here it was 10 times worse in the U.S. And that's because in the U.S. they think they're smarter than nature, and they start spraying chemicals to kill all these bugs, mosquitoes especially. And in doing that, they kill the rest of the ecosystem that was already eating the bugs the best they could and wasn't that bad. But humans were either killing with chemicals or killing with, harvesting all kinds of birds and bats, and they were trying to, get rid of all the things that killed the bugs. So, yeah, it's just a cuckoo. So here in the Philippines, it's a poor country, and so even if they had an idea, hey, let's spray chemicals to try to kill bugs, they can't do it because they don't have the budget for it. So that's a good thing about the Philippines. I love the bug situation because it's so low. The ecosystem works so well here. And, we're not wanting for food or anything. I mean, I have so many fruit trees that grow on my land, in my yard. We're constantly picking fruit to eat, like papaya. We got a big papaya tree here. It's produced probably at least 100 different papaya already since it grew. It takes about a year to grow. Trees grow so fast. And so we were all constantly eating papaya. Very delicious. So anyway, that's the day. And then this year, we just planted this a year, maybe 2 years ago. And look, this is an avocado tree. So it's really bushing up now and growing good. So maybe in our 3 years, we'll have avocados. So that's the end of the project today. When I drilled these holes, I didn't have the right size bit, so I had to wobble it out with a small bit, and then they became too big, so I had to put epoxy in these lag bolts that's mounting into the wall there. But hopefully that sucker will last 2-3 years. I sure hope so. And then we'll keep this cool. And it's been since August, since they put our net meter in, which pays us, the power company pays us in credits per month, the way it's supposed to work, what power we put onto the grid, right? And so there's a special meter there that shows power that we're using from off the grid, importing off the grid, and then it shows another part of the meter shows the amount of kilowatt hours that we're exporting to the grid. But they still don't have the billing worked out. So we've been getting a bill these last 4 months now that only shows what power we've been importing off the grid. And so yeah, so I don't understand. They take some, this whole program is new for this province, Zamboanga del Norte. We're one of the first ones that ever got the net metering into the net metering program. But you think they would have thought ahead of time, oh, we got to get this billing right, with their IT personnel and their admin, get the billing so it shows the proper credits per month and the subtraction of export and import and all that. And they had none of that done when we got our meter last August. So 4 months later, they're still working on it. So we keep getting this import bill, and then we call the supervisor there and they say, okay, just don't do anything. So we haven't paid electric bill for over 4 months now, waiting on their people to get the billing right to show us a proper subtraction of export from import. So even like last month, the prices also of power have gone down from 15 pesos per kilowatt about 8 months ago to now 5 pesos per kilowatt. I mean, 2/3 the price has dropped on power. And so in 2022, when I got this thing installed, it was ridiculous, right? It was my highest bill was almost 16 pesos per kilowatt, and now it's at just slightly above 5. So isn't that crazy? I mean, how could from 1 year's time, the power price is dropping 2/3. It's just insane. I don't know what's going on. But, the last import bill I just got a couple of days ago was 4,000 pesos. So that was what they charged me for using power off the grid. Well, they haven't given me credits for what I gave them, which was more than what I used. So I suspect my bill for last month was only like 1,800, 2,000 pesos, which is like $40. So I went from $500 a month to down to $40 a month now, with the addition of solar and the addition of the net metering program I'm on. So it's a real big saving. So if you plan on staying in the Philippines, until you're dead, really, build your castle, build your property or home, whatever you want to do, and then put in solar, and that's like at least 30 years that your system should last, and between 20 and 30 years, and then you can just, as you go along every 5 years, just keep upgrading your system, and you're saving yourself just hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of thousands, really, of US dollars, and hundreds of thousands of pesos in money over the years. So it's a really wise thing to do if you're staying in the Philippines for long term. So anyways, that's it for today. You guys all, thank you for watching the videos. Have a great day out there, and God bless. Bye-bye.